All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and a warm welcome to MASC Red Devils NCR. And 6 years, 6 long years of heartbreaks, of acrimonious first round exits, of final heartbreaks, of semi final exits, and constant false dawns later. The drought is over. We are finally champions. And it, for once, I genuinely will appreciate this as long as it lasts because I've learned one thing is that never take winning trophies for granted. What a day yesterday as a United fan. Years of agony, years of heartbreak, just kept on piling on. But finally, yesterday we could you could put our chests out and we could finally celebrate a trophy. How does that feel? Or just by your thoughts before we get into everything, just your thoughts when that final whistle sounded and that finally rubber stamped the fact that we are finally champions. We finally won a trophy once again. What were your emotions? What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, hello everyone. It was like one of the nights that you especially made me very happy to be a Manchester United fan because
Ojibwa, are you there? Okay, unfortunately, Ojibwa is not able to. So, Abhijit bhai, same question to you. When the final whistle sounded, uh, you could see that it's finally happened. What was going through your mind? What was your thought process? What were your emotions? What was your state like looking at that win, which finally made sure that we are champions again?
When the final whistle blew, I was, people get stunned when what happened. We are the champions. It felt like emotions. Total emotional. I was emotional for a few minutes, but at the same time, it was the feeling that we are champions. Finally we have won a trophy after so many years. you know it was it was affirmation for me that yes, we are on the right path. What you know the emotions were coming out when we all chatted on that account, WhatsApp group, everything. Emotions were high for every United fan. And every United fan has gone through so much rough period in the 6 years, and bantered, got to so depressed about this, about the club, about the players, about the owners, everyone. Everyone was at a high yesterday because we saw that what we, what the results were coming for us. And finally we beat a team that was who was also on a transition, who was in a much more everyone, even in the screenings, the people of Manchester United, everyone was on the high. And this happiness, never we I never, after so many years, I was enjoying the matches of Manchester United because of Eric Ten Hag, and the results that we came into reap, what we saw, sowed in the Manchester club by Eric Ten Hag. Everything was coming into that results. And this is just a just small start for for our Manchester United fans, that yes, we are on the right path. We have done the process is right. The manager has the grip on the club. Even Sir Alex said everything, that he has got the grip of the club. The signings are spot on. Everything was spot on. All the players who were these were the same players in the last years. We were bantering about in that they are no use, sell them, everything. But the way Eric Ten Hag has transformed and transitioned every aspect of Manchester United club is very astonishing to see that yes, he has something, and I would say that he is a liar, because he said that managers can't do magic. But I would say he's a liar. He has done a magic to Manchester United club, and he is slowly bringing the back club. And yes, I appreciate to Manchester United fans and to the club that congratulations, we have won a trophy for us, for the fans and everyone.
Yeah, it's absolutely a beautiful feeling. Moses sir, warm welcome to the stream. Moses sir, I'll ask the same question that I asked Abhijit bhai, but this definitely will hold a special place in your hearts. Not just because that we were on the midst of a horrible trophy run, which doesn't suit a club of our prestige, the club of our grandeur, and the club of our size. And being such a deep rooted fan that you are, because you are out of this panel, you are the only one who's seen Manchester United up close and personal in Manchester. You've been there throughout the decades. You've been through the peaks and troughs. How much does this victory hold significance throughout your 30 odd years of being a United fan? And when that final whistle sounded last night, we have had countless false dawns, which also includes trophy wins. The first season under Jose Mourinho, there were trophies which we won, but it did not feel like that would lead to something tangible. But yesterday, when that final whistle blew, and it was finally rubber stamped that we are finally champions after a prolonged absence. What was going through your mind, and how close does this victory rank in terms of your 30-year odd journey as a United fan?
Look, I'll be surprised that I didn't watch the game yesterday. I was a nervous shipwreck. I just didn't want to sit in front of any device and go through those 90 minutes. I just couldn't have handled it. I was so done. I was like, shit, I can't do this. But when I happen to have got a message from my friend that congratulations, you guys have won. I'm like, ठीक है, अब on करके देखते हैं. So it's actually at that moment that I actually applied for that fan code membership or that pass, and we were at about 85th or 86th minute, and I was like, हाँ यार, अब मैं इसको देख सकता हूँ. So I was a nervous shipwreck. I somehow have, despite having followed United through all the peaks and troughs and all the kind of stuff that we've gone through, I somehow um, couldn't get myself, or couldn't get the courage to sit through yesterday, because you're absolutely right. There have been so many false dawns. May it be Mourinho, may it be that FA Cup win by under Van Gaal, may it be the good feel vibe all through the Ollie tenure. We've been through shit. And that's an understatement. So I very vividly now, because it's been so many years back, vividly recall the first Premier League title we won with Sir Alex, and we were being bantered by Liverpool back then. When you have 18 comebacks sort of stuff. And today we have people bantering us about, we calling this cup a Mickey Mouse Club only last year when others were winning, and we didn't think this was a big enough deal. But then you got to understand where Manchester United were, where they got to, and this somehow now feels a proper rebuild, or a proper turning the corner. Even Sir Alex Ferguson yesterday said that Eric Ten Hag is beginning to do things his way. So you got to understand one simple thing. Ollie tried to copy somebody, right? He tried to copy Sir Alex Ferguson's way, or other coaches that he had seen himself as a player during his tenure. That wasn't going to work. As a manager, you got to do it your own way. So Sir Alex Ferguson made 3 very good points yesterday. That Eric Ten Hag is doing it his way. Second, he has got to the grips of the club, which is absolutely important, because you cannot have the Mourinho Pogba kind of a saga unfolding at United again. And third, what he mentioned was that the signings have been very good. Now you compare the and we're not going. मैं signings की value की बात भी नहीं करूँगा, because वो Eric Ten Hag की गलती नहीं है, right? Glazers पूरी summer सोते रहे, and then all of a sudden you realize, shit, we may as well pay something to buy somebody. So that's not Eric Ten Hag's fault. but Anthony's doing well. Casemiro, let's just, I mean, adjectives or whatever you want to call them in English are, finished. मतलब उसको कितनी तारीफ कर लो, there is nothing much left to say about that guy. He is, I mean, जो फुटबॉल देखते हैं उनको समझ नहीं आ रहा है कि भाई how Casemiro can be so critical is it's something we've been crying out for like last 15 years. Even while Sir Alex was there, there were games when we used to say that, damn it, go get a CDM. But then Casemiro has been brilliant. Well, Martinez, क्या बोले यार, मतलब he's been 5'9" will not work as a centre back in the Premier League. Go fuck yourself, man. Those Liverpool pundits. So, yeah, you know, बहुत ऐसे कम you go through, you face very few watershed moments which you look back in history or look back in time and say that जिंदगी वहां से बदली थी, right? And I somehow believe that in United's near past or the coming future, um, I clearly recall what the commentator said when Ronaldo scored those two goals. Sorry to bring in that guy, but it was a very apt statement which is applicable now. That it was something on lines of there has never been a day that has been so utopian as that particular day when we beat Newcastle 4-1 when Ronaldo made his second debut. So it's quite ironic that we actually beat Newcastle in a Carling Cup final. And I would say that there hasn't been a day as utopian as yesterday was when yes, I would say that some people would say that we were favourites going into it, but then you look at how Newcastle have been in the last 4 to 5 months. Um, so I mean, and the difference is that look, now you have trophy winners in your team, right? Um, you have Casemiro, you have Varane, you have Martinez, you have David De Gea. Who else? Who else have you got? You have this guy,
Anthony.
Anthony. You have Sabitzer, who's won it with Bayern Munich. So you now have characters in your team who know how these finals have to be handled. And what is the stat that came out that Casemiro has won 98% of the finals that he's appeared in, and Varane
He's won.
96%?
Yeah, he's won all of his finals except Casimiro's won all of his finals except one in the recent past. That is the final that he lost also was an international final. That was the Copa final. But I don't think he's lost any of the club finals that he's participated in.
So I mean, you can't substitute or you can't change for that experience to know how to handle those particular 90 minutes on which a medal and a trophy is dependent. So look, well, congratulations to everybody at Manchester United, man, fans, the staff, the club, the players. It's just been a brilliant evening and the brilliant 24 hours. And like Eric Ten Hag said, that the champagne's going to be for the coaching staff and myself. We have an important game in 3 days now, and then you add one of the small snippets from everywhere. एक तो ये statement हो गई, and then Eric Ten Hag for getting the Carabao Cup on his post-match, wherever that was on the table itself, and him being told that please carry, and he said, yeah, that's fine, but don't worry, I'm going to win. I'm going to get another trophy. So it's just the right vibes are now flowing through the team, and I'm just so glad. I am just over the moon. It can be, and I think it will be one of those launch pads. Okay, the trophy is different, but it's going to be one of those launch pads that Sir Alex Ferguson had with the first FA Cup that he won for Manchester United, followed by the European Cup Winners' Cup, and then the Premier League game, and then the double game, and all that stuff happened, and the rest is history. This is going to be equivalent, I believe, to that launch pad wherein If we get new owners, and if Eric Ten Hag, and I'm sure Eric Ten Hag will get the football philosophy back into the club, um, we could be back. We could seriously be heading towards another 10 to 15 years of some serious football domination.
Yeah,
I'm 100%. I'm 100% convinced it would take a complete madness and a hierarchy of the highest order to disrupt what Eric Ten Hag is trying to build. For any new owner to come in and try and disrupt the footballing side of things now. And everybody knows you fuck up the footballing side, the commercial side takes a hit as well. तो भाई मेरे हिसाब से तो you know अपनी तो निकल पड़ी भाई. This thing will now happen. This thing will now grow, and it's only going to get better.
yeah. I mean, you spoke about positive vibes, Mojo. So you know that something special or something beautiful is going on at Old Trafford when Eric Ten Hag has managed to cure Roy Keane's anger within a space of 6 months. You've never seen Roy Keane this happy. You've never seen Roy Keane crack jokes or be bullish about United's chances in the past 2-3 seasons, especially even though in the past 2-3 seasons there have been 2 seasons where we finished in the Champions League places. But you've never seen Roy Keane so happy-go-lucky. You've not seen Roy Keane ask Ole tickets to the Carabao Cup or so on and so forth. You've not seen Roy Keane banter and this sense of happiness that Roy Keane has. So I mean, when you've got one of the most hard-nosed, old-school type of players and leaders firmly in your corner, you know something's right. You definitely know that there is something right happening.
I mean, absolutely. Look, we, I mean, it's easy to say that, we are Manchester United. We're not like Arsenal, who for a good part of a decade and a half were happy finishing fourth. Finishing fourth was a trophy for them, right? But we were always bigger than that. We were always winning trophies while we were bantering and having a good laugh at Arsenal. Ki bhai fourth aa gaye, chalo, they're still in the Champions League, and one day they will face Bayern Munich and they'll get hammered. And thank you next year. So, but when you talk about Roy Keane, these guys are hardened champions, man. They used to play football when football was tough and football was physical. And they know the value of winning a trophy, right? So if Roy Keane says, if Roy Keane is happy, then it's not because United would have finished top four, Roy Keane would have been happy. Roy Keane is happy because Manchester United have won a trophy. You cannot possibly write on your CV that you finished top four for 15 fucking seasons and won nothing. And that's your football season gone. I mean, that's Harry Kane in a nutshell. So you don't do that to yourself. So my thing is, and you know what, Galvin, I'm sure when we get into the discussion a little more in detail, congratulations to you. Your boy Aaron Wan-Bissaka played like a superb second half. That's what I read, because like I said, I didn't watch the game. That's what I read. But
Leave that
look,
to me,
Roy
sir. Leave the Wan-Bissaka hype to me.
So
That
Roy Keane being happy
that
about the trophy win should get a lot of our pundits to start making sense and start supporting Ten Hag, start supporting the team with positive vibes, positive talk about the team in their post-match, pre-match, or whatever they do, because this guy is lone-handedly trying to turn around Manchester United fortunes. He hasn't been backed in the summer with the players he wanted. He's suddenly faced with a situation that he's going to have new owners. He's suddenly faced with a situation where the two of his first choice midfielders are injured, and he's still changing, swapping, making intelligent substitutions, changing formation and changing tactics. What, by the 10th or the 15th minute? It's unbelievable. It's never been seen post Sir Alex. So my thing is, guys, fingers crossed. But I really believe that this is one of those pivotal moments when we should build from this big time.
Abhijit bhai, you were saying something. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying about Aaron Wan-Bissaka only. Man, what a player, man!
Yeah.
You,
We'll
the
we'll
man,
get yes.
yes,
We'll get to it.
just
We'll get to it.
he was a phenomenal player in the second half. I would say from the substitution.
Yeah,
Phenomenal player.
totally. We'll
We'll
speak
continue
about,
with that.
yeah, we will speak about that. Like Moses said, when we get into depth. Oh, just fine. I'm sorry, we got a disconnection due to some reason on your end while you were speaking about what you were going through. I'd like you to have the floor and just speak about what was going through, the emotions, the mind space that you were in. Of course, you seen the match right from the beginning to the off, and what were the emotions going through while you were watching the game when we scored the first two goals as well, and then there was a small time when Newcastle did have the ascendancy in the second half as well, where it did feel that they could have ended up scoring, but then it did not happen, and then the final whistle. What was your emotional mind space, and then when you seen the players lifting the trophy, like how did you feel?
Yeah, very proud moment as a Manchester United fan to win a trophy, whether it's any trophy. For me, I know Manchester United have won it, but I still consider it as a Mickey Mouse Cup. But in the larger sense, it is a very important trophy for me. In a larger sense, why? Because once you start getting one trophy, you get hungry for more. Now you have won your first trophy as a team. Now you will be hungry for more trophies and better trophies. This will be a perfect setup. I know the trophy drought has just craved us for any trophy that we want firsthand, but this is surely, even the manager knows this is just the start. It is just the start. It is a cup. We played well in the competition. We got through the finals. We have played well to win the final against a very good team. Newcastle is a very good team. They have shown in the Premier League also. They started decent yesterday, but we were just too good. We just had too much of quality for them to even have for them to even have a chance against us. Slowly and steadily, the momentum was building to a win, and everyone in the screening that was organized by our fan club, everyone was really getting emotional because it had been a very long time since we have our team up in the podium lifting the trophy. So a very emotional moment, a proud moment. I still believe it's just the start, but it's a good trophy to be happy with. It's a good thing to accept that we have won something in the past 6 years that we haven't won something. So yes, a very good start, a very good win, a very happy moment. But I still wish that we just are not content with it. We build on this and we become better, bigger, and aim for bigger trophies like Premier League and Champions League.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
Ojas bhai,
yeah,
sorry Delvin, I'm just interrupting. Ojas bhai, uh, I
not a Mickey
disagree when
Mouse
you,
Cup, not a
yeah,
Mickey
I
Mouse Cup.
disagree when you call it a Mickey Mouse trophy. And the reason why I say that is, look, that Mickey Mouse trophy thing was predominantly started by somebody
Liverpool
or the other,
fans.
not the United fans, right? But then when you look at players, managers like Pep, winning the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and the Premier League and calling it the domestic treble, then Carling Cup is no more a Mickey Mouse trophy. And the reason why I say that is the likes of Arsenal, now United, previously Liverpool, and Man City have all been fighting for it for the last 4 to 5 years consistently. We've been through the quarters and the semis and the finals, these four or five teams. So when your big heavyweights are gunning for a Carling Cup kind of a tournament and a trophy, I'm sorry, other fan club people can banter us today, but those same Man City players, the same Man City fans 2 years ago were on, trying to fly themselves to seventh heaven, saying that ki bhaichod humne domestic treble jeet liya hai. That domestic treble had a fucking Carling Cup, yaar, and today you're tell me Carling Cup Mickey Mouse Cup ho gaya just because bhaichod tumhari maiya chud gayi thi second third round mein. So let's be clear, a trophy is a trophy, right? And back then, when Sir Alex Ferguson won the FA Cup used to be a big thing. Today, Carling Cup is a big thing. And had this been a Liverpool versus Man City final, the commentators would have been saying it. The value of the Carling Cup has risen like multi-folds over the last 4 to 5, 6 seasons. And Pep, if I recall correctly, started this was Pep's first trophy, if I recall correctly, and he
Yep.
built it up from there.
Yes.
So it's not a Mickey Mouse thing, yeah. It just look. It might be. Let me rephrase it. It might be one of those trophies which, if you win, yes, you would want to put your foot down and try and build from. It might be one of those trophies which is not as critically acclaimed as the FA Cup or the Premier League or the Champions League. But then, look, it's a first trophy after 6 years. It's a trophy which Pep, which Klopp, which which other club managers have um, gone for and sought to win to get the team rolling forward. So, according to me, it is a critical win. It is not a Mickey Mouse thing. If there's anything that is Mickey Mouse trophy, that is, it's what the fuck we won in Bangkok, man. बहन चो, तो पंखे वाली ट्रॉफी जो हम जीत के लाए थे इसमें साला कूलर लगा रखा था, तो वो मिकी माउस है. लेकिन ये नहीं है भाई. दिस इज प्रॉपर कंपटीशन यार. इसको लेट्स नॉट. I know which viewpoint you're coming from. I totally agree. मतलब, I would accept it when you explain it. But then this is a hard-earned trophy यार, after 6 years. Imagine had we lost yesterday. तब क्या होता? But let's respect where this club is heading towards, where the manager is taking us, where the same players जिनको पिछले साल हम ये कह रहे थे you're not fit to wear the shirt have actually gone ahead and won a trophy in 6 months since that hammering they got. So not six, about 8 or 9 months, the hammering they got in the last two games of the previous season. So look, it is an important trophy, mate. This just could be the launch pad of something much better. And that's what my manager has said in his letter to the fans. That this is just a start, hopefully, and if they get the footballing decisions right, I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot better than what we are right now.
Totally.
And what better game? What better game? I mean, Delvin will talk about his favorite Aaron Van Bissaka, but then what better game for David De Gea to go past Peter Schmeichel?
Peter Schmeichel,
Brilliant,
absolutely, yes, yes.
absolutely
It was a
brilliant.
yes, it was a game of a lot of milestones. It was a game of a full team performance. I've always believed that whenever the entire 11 performs, that it's 95 to 96% of the game United have ended up winning. Not only this season, but throughout the course of our long storied history in the Premier League era. Whenever 11 out of 11 players have performed, we have won. Even one player has an off game, we have more than half the time ended up losing those games, even though we were in a strength of power for majority of the time. So it just goes on to say, how closely knit this side is. So let us talk about the game now. Osis bhai, yesterday when we spoke about the game in the preview, we spoke about Eric Ten Hag addressing Newcastle as annoying. So obviously that hit a nerve, and Eddie Howe came out with arguably his most attacking Newcastle lineup, which is fielded in the course of the season. You had Joe Linton, you had Bruno Guimaraes, you had Longstaff, but you seen the likes of Almiron, San Maximan, and instead of Isak, he played Wilson in, which meant that Newcastle wanted to be aggressive right from the get go, and up until a certain moment, it worked. They were good in their press in the first 20 minutes. They managed to disrupt our passing rhythm. They didn't let us have a lot of time on the ball. But then it felt like United were much more prepared for the occasion, and it always felt like a genuine sense of letting Newcastle have the ball rather than we losing the ball to them. So, what was your thoughts on the first half of the game? Especially when Newcastle were in control of proceedings, and when you seen the lineup, like how was it for you?
Yeah, like you, I was also surprised at how Newcastle were I think the attacking one of the attacking teams that were put on the field. But surely there was a plan. There was a plan in the mind of Eddie Howe that I have gone with a set of pattern. I have been successful in the league, but a side like Manchester United, where the team is full of quality players, you have to change the rhythm of the game. And how do you change the rhythm of the game? You plan your team in such a way that what they're expecting from us, that we will sit back, we will be defensively solid, you just put a counter on that. You put a counter on that. You tell your players, just give them a surprise by being the more on the front foot. Just attack, just give ball to Saint Maximan, let him do his thing. And Delvin, if you remember in the preview also, I said that the expected lineup, Wilson will start, because I believe that there were the setup of the game was like how what Eddie Howe wanted to play, Wilson was important because of his control on the ball. And if even one chance was given to Wilson, which we all were discussing in the screening also, one chance for a player like Wilson, we have saw it in Bournemouth also, he's able to convert those chances. And what Eddie Howe planned was, I think so, it was going fine up to the mark, but just that United were ready for anything yesterday. Like United came ready for anything. If you would have given them Real Madrid yesterday, even if you would have given them, I don't know, a national team yesterday, they looked so prepared for anything. They were not haphazard. They were not scared what was happening around us. What Newcastle is doing something new. They played top quality football from the keeper to the attacker. That it was a top quality football, top quality performance. And these are the type of performances you need in the final if you want to convert the final into a trophy. I think so, a very decent half, first half, it was a good performance. Newcastle tried something new, but I just believe United were ready for anything yesterday. They were just too good. They were just too good on the paper, and they were just too good with the players that were playing on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Abhijit bhai, I and Ojis bhai had a small debate yesterday whether should it have been Dalo starting the final or shouldn't have been Aaron Van Bissaka. And we both at that point had agreed that Aaron Van Bissaka should have started because of the sheer fact that it was Alain Saint-Maximin who was playing through the left-hand side for Newcastle. That was our consensus. But then for some reason, which we wholly trust the manager for, he decided to give Dalo a chance. And obviously, while Dalo did get the better of Sam Maximan in the initial stages, that was the time from the first 5 to 7 minutes, I guess. After that point, Sam Maximan just took over. Like every time he got the ball, he absolutely made a run for Dalo. And there were a couple of three times where he absolutely roasted Dalo alive. Like you just were hoping that he doesn't get into dangerous positions. Like I'd go on and say that Sam Maximan was their best player in the first half. He tried to create whenever he got the ball. He was just merciless. Did you think that And also, that meant that Dalo got a yellow card within the first 10 minutes of the game as well. So obviously that plan for Newcastle worked, and up to a certain point, the Dalo experiment did not work as expected. So, what were your thoughts on that point in time where Alan Sen Maximan just felt like it was his day, and he was very very intent to make the Wembley stage his own. Did you think that the Dalo experiment backfired a bit? And what were your thoughts? Did you also want Van Bissaka to start in the final?
uh, I think Eric Ten Hag's approach was that we need to be a proactive actually. In these games, as we were thinking that Newcastle, they are very time wasting. You need some energy, and Dalot can do that. Uh, I thought that Dalot can contribute in attacks, like he can be good as an inverted wing back for a Manchester United, but you know. As Trippier and Alan San Maximan was trying to Trippier was transferring the ball in the boxes, and Saint Maximan was around the box, and he was totally dominating that uh, total left side flank of that his area. But Dalot was not that prepared, I would say, because he was doing the tricks and threats, and he was moving the ball forward, and uh, I think Joelton and Gumares were supporting him more more for that, to progress the ball. He was stretching the more defense, and he was totally breaking the defense. But that one-on-one tackles which were not doing by Dalot was backfiring us, and I think that really took us my took us to very sloppy defense. But even I think Newcastle had a chance in the first half, where it really hit the pole. I think if I'm not wrong, there was a one chance where due to Dalot it was. But Eric Ten Hag knew that we have to stop something. Alan Saint Maximan. So he brought Van Bissaka, because if you look at Van Bissaka, he's good at one on one. he is one of the player who who can good take on that take ons, and he can stop the player. And no one is good as him, because he tackles very fiercely. मतलब कोई रहम ही नहीं है भाई, कोई he goes and he directly does this scoop tackle. We all talk about it, and he is the one of the best player in that areas when one on one comes. And the way he stopped that attack of Newcastle, they were very handicapped by that attack. And you saw that Eddie Howe was forced to change to make the as Saint Maximin was so totally frustrated. Even he was he was so angry on Van Bissaka that I thought he would go and banter on him, or have a clash on him. But the way Van Bissaka played yesterday, man, I eat my words that I say that yes, man, he was. I was saying that he should be sold, or he was not at up to the mark. I'm sorry. I really really changed my words that yes, he has transformed himself. And the way he tackled Saint Maximum, even that in the, I think, second half, I think when he was tackling Saint Maximum, and Maximum was in the I think in the half, and he tackled there him, and he took the ball. If that if that pass he would pass to Bruno, then it was another chance for us. But if I was little scared about that, because he could have if he committed totally, and the right flank was totally empty, and there was a player empty, and he could have changed the transition. But yes, I was not any scared about that. He actually came up with a tackle, and man, that Van Bissaka is really really a hot thing in Manchester United now.
Yeah,
It's
precisely. Yeah. So just by coming to the first goal, I mean, did you think that the goal that Casemiro scored was against the run of play? Because up until that point, it was a fair. You did say that United did come prepared for everything, and of course we did. There's no question about that. But considering the sheer amount of ball that Newcastle saw up until that goal, and like their pressing was on point, they did manage to keep things tight in the middle of the park as well. But up until that point, did Casemiro score? Did you think that was the goal against the run of play, or did you think that we were value for money as far as our lead was concerned?
Yep. Actually, I was very surprised the way Newcastle conceded that goal, because although it was a very good ball and a perfect header connection by Casemiro, but the last type of goal that I expected Newcastle to concede was from a set piece, and one of the players of Manchester United scoring a header that goes into the bottom corner. That was the last type of goal that I was expecting. I was expecting a sprint from Rashford, or from a very good gameplay, Bruno scoring a tap in, whatever. But the last type of goal, it was a header goal I was expecting. But we have to see how we planned it. We allowed Newcastle to have, the possession, the games that they were playing in our half, and we were getting defensively solid. That knowing that if we allow Newcastle to have the possession, they will start putting the players, ahead. They will keep pushing their players, and this will create a lot of space in in their half behind the back four. It was something I would not say against the run of play, but it was very surprising that how they conceded. And although I believe that Newcastle was slightly, I should say they were not prepared in the free kick, that what we are trying to do against the ball that will come in, because I didn't see anyone standing except Luke Shaw on the ball. Like you get confused when there is a right-footed player and a left-footed player, but I didn't see anyone standing there to confuse. It was properly expected that Luke Shaw is going to deliver the ball. It is going to swing uh, in the way that it is opposite of the goalkeeper. You were just not prepared for it. It was just, I would say, the moment had a very poor defending from Newcastle, but 10% poor defending and 90% a very good movement by Casemiro and a very good delivery by Lucia.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the problem. I mean, I was surprised because of this, because of the sheer height that Newcastle have in their defense, with the likes of Dan Burn, Fabian Schär, and even Sven Botman, for example. These three are some of the tallest, some of the tallest players in the Premier League, and Newcastle have been one of the meanest defenses in the Premier League. Also, they barely conceded a lot of goals if they have, but. But it was just, I think this was a similar header to what Casemiro did in the game against Chelsea. He glided the header past, and for a moment I thought that the goal would have been offside, but then on replays it was clear that I think it was Joe Linton who played him on line. So yeah, it was a very very well worked set piece, and
It
it was
also
absolutely
it
yeah,
was
go on.
also yes, it was also a smart set piece won by Manchester United, because you we were discussing about that Balde's penalty, took the penalty from Bruno. The
This
same
wasn't a
thing
soft
we
foul. This wasn't a soft foul, by the way.
softball,
This was a
yes, yes,
barge. This was a
uh,
barge. This was a genuine foul.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
but genuine.
Abhijit bhai, smart thinking is when you're very closer to the box. For me, that is smart thinking. But I think what happened in this play was it was a proper foul by the player, and if you are saying it is a very good foul won by Manchester United, yes. But I think more than that, it is a very well executed free kick by Manchester United, a very well executed goal by Manchester United, if we can phrase it like that.
Yes, yes, definitely.
Because it was a foul. It was a proper barge on Rashford, and
No, no,
Rashford did
yes,
fall off. Yeah, it was a
yes,
foul.
it really frustrated the player, Newcastle player, and
Yeah,
he has to commit the foul.
yeah,
So I was saying that
exactly.
it was that, yes.
Yeah. So, Abhijit, bhai, speaking about the second goal, now football's worst kept secret yesterday was that Loris Karius was going to start, and now without being biased, without being any sort of thing, I think he had a decent game yesterday. It was not like he made a lot of mistakes. Yes, he was very very edgy and nervous in the beginning, first 5 to 10 minutes, but then he did get a decent handle. He made a couple of very good saves. He did deny Weghorst, he did deny Bruno. Those are a couple of very good saves. But in the second goal, excellent move by United, no doubt about it. Weghorst was absolutely immense in that move. The way he managed to hold up the ball, the way he managed to make that run. And keeping those two Newcastle defenders engaged until he slipped that inch perfect ball to Rashford. I have heard a lot of people saying that this was a carrier's mistake. I don't seem to think so that it was of Carrier's error. Yes, he went down a little too early, but I think the deflection was a big indicator of that he wasn't able to get it. Did you think that the goal was a Carrier's mistake in the first place? And how important was Vegas' role in that goal? What were your thoughts on that second goal? And did you think at that point when we did get the second goal, was the match finished as a contest?
See, when the play started, when the second goal was started, when the ball was received, you look at the Rashford's transition. He passed the ball. He what do you say? He passed his underlay, and he went to the Vegas. And we know that Vegas is not the quickest. When I was seeing that goal, before scoring, I was hoping that run run Vegas run, because this was the chance, because they were short of the defenders. Only three defenders were there, and he was the lone player. But way Rashford ran around out of Shar and Botman, and he took the ball and gently pushed in that pass to the Rashford, and I think Botman. Was it Botman or Shar that tackled him?
It was Botman.
Yes, I think he committed very early, I would say, and I think it deflected and passed to the carriers. Uh, if it wasn't Botman tackled that, I would say carriers could have saved and it could have rebounded elsewhere. But I think Botman's mistake, I would say. And the way Rashford bodied the Botman, and he applied his physicality to take that close control. uh, Man, that you see some players, they're having that small grip of the ball. You see Messi, you see now, you can see it through Anthony also. He has so small grip to the ball. He, I think it looks like his ball is stick to his foot, but the way in the box, Rashford, took the ball, bodied himself and stick up to the ball, and he scored, was phenomenal. It was Botman's mistake that he committed early in that, to tackle Rashford the ball, and that deflected, and it went past to the carriers, and carriers had no answer to stop the ball.
Yeah, correct. I mean, like Vishal Bhai says in the comments also. Vishal Bhai, first of all, welcome to the stream. Even he agrees with me saying that it was not Karius' mistake, and also people need to also understand the fact that Karius did play after 2 years, and that should also be a factor which should be considered into taking. I mean, I after up until a point, I do feel bad for the guy. He was thrust into a situation and he was not even ready for it. But this is football. It is how things work. You have to be ready at every single opportunity that is given to you, whether it is after 2 years or whether it is after 2 days as well. So I mean, I hope he comes out of this a much better player. You always want to see players like this do well, just not against your team. But yeah, I mean, I hope that he does have a good future. He's still young. He's still 29 or 30, which is comparatively very young for a goalkeeper's age. And I hope he does well in the future. He did do a very good job, all things considered. The 2 year absence and the memories of the last final that he played. He did do a very good job though. But yeah, it was not to be his day. Which is why then now let's come into the second half. I mean, Ten Hag did find it very evident and did see it that Dalo was struggling and he was struggling very badly, and also because of the fact that he was on a yellow card, so it would have been an obvious choice for San Maximan to ruthlessly target him and lure him into getting a foul and then that second yellow, obviously. And plus, after the yellow, Dalo was a little circumspect. He did, make sure he was trying to give him enough room and just make sure that he's engaged minimally with San Maximan. So off went Dalo, and in came the spider from Croydon, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now here's where you could in the middle of the warm up, before the start of the second half and after half time, that 15-minute period, you could genuinely see Aaron Wan-Bissaka warming up with a sense of urgency. Now, normally when you're coming in for the start of a second half, you do not put a lot of intensity in your warm up drills. It's just basic passing, it's basic keep ball, and you manage to just keep yourself warm enough to just feel your way into the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then when you get up to speed of the match, you do what you want to do. Wan Bissaka in that 15 minutes treated that warm up like an absolute in-game situation. He underwent with his drills with such intensity, with such ferocity, that he just wanted to show San Maximan who is boss right from the first minute itself. And boy, when he entered, like you just could feel the balance of power on that right hand side shift from black and blue to red. Every time San Maximan got the ball, not just in our half, in the Newcastle half, Wan Bissaka went out there to get him. It was just like he wants Wan Bissaka, he wants San Maximan, and he's going to destroy him, like absolutely destroy him. Wan Bissaka was fucking everywhere. Like you see Wan Bissaka, you've never seen a Wan Bissaka like this. Not even at the game where he had Mbappe and Neymar in his pocket. He was never this proactive. He waited for them to come and then he executed his plans to perfection. You could see a reactive Wan Bissaka then, but the Wan Bissaka of yesterday was a proactive animal. Like the moment San Maximan got the ball, Wan Bissaka was there to meet him. Like you knew that the game was over, that even San Maximan began to pass the ball. In the first half, you never seen San Maximan pass the ball. He was literally up until the byline, he would never pass the ball. But in that second half, Wan Bissaka made San Maximan pass the ball. How often have you seen San Maximan passing the ball throughout the course of the Premier League that he's been part of? I've barely seen him. I can genuinely count it on the tip of my fingers the amount of times that I've seen San Maximan pass the ball. And Wan Bissaka just made him look like an ordinary trespasser, man. Like, good gracious me. Wan Bissaka was absolutely phenomenal. And I can genuinely go out with my chest and say, yeah, this is my boy. This is Aaron, and good lord, he had an amazing game yesterday. What was your thought? What were your thoughts on the Van Bissaka performance? I mean, he's coming for a lot of criticism, and any other player who would have been in his place, would actually feel the heat. Uh, you could also have him, a player on his place, would have gone to social media, would have cribbed about it, would have made a big hue and cry about the fact that he was dropped, but not him. He went about his business outside of the team, made sure that he came in, was in good shape, and when he was called to put in a job, since the World Cup, he's been a different right back altogether. Like the Van Bissaka in 21-22 and the Van Bissaka in 22-23 is an entirely different player. What are your thoughts on this Van Bissaka masterclass yesterday?
Yeah, I have a very bad memory related to this incident. I remember Rashford being a peak of his form, and then he met Kyle Walker of Manchester City, where Rashford, we were seeing that he was continuously dribbling past the defenders that season. Suddenly, you met one of the good right backs of the league, one of the best right backs of the league, and Rashford couldn't handle that. So, from dribbling, he went to passing. That was the type of situation that happened yesterday for me also, that what Dallo was lacking, Bisaka brought it to the game. That was a strong defending performance from your fullback. Dallo overall being a very good player. I saw him making a few very good challenges against players of Newcastle, but surely that yellow card just limped him for the second half. So I think a very good substitution, a very proactive substitution by the manager also, and somehow I believe that Bisaka was prepared in a way that what you are going to do is just break the left side of the Newcastle attack, because Dan Burn is like you mentioned yesterday also, he's not that attacking threat. One of the fullbacks who provides attacking threat to a team. So what you can do is, Bisaka, that you only have one player to counter, and that is Saint Maximin, and you just have to put him in a situation where he cannot play his natural game, that is dribbling and getting past defenders. As soon as you handicap that, then your team, the team you are playing against, are short in options of what they have to do, and this just somehow stops them there. It creates too much burden, it creates too much pressure for a team like Newcastle, who are who I should say are not wary of these type of performances against opposition in this big stage. So it was a proper fullback performance for me. It's what you expect a fullback to do. It's what you want a fullback to do. And yes, you're right that he could have cribbed about not being in the starting 11, not being given chance for so many months, days, months. Although few of them were, he was injured, he was recovering. But this is professionalism at its peak. This is professionalism at its peak. You stay there, you keep on fighting, you try to get a chance. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, that is another thing. But if it works, you make the best of it, out of it. That is what a top player does, and that is what Aaron Bissaka did. And right now, he is in the contention of being the starting right back of Manchester United, which itself is a very big thing, because as a club, we are moving forward very fast.
I mean, had he scored or had he assisted, it would have been the icing on the cake. He had two opportunities, one where he won the ball of San Maximan on the half and he single-handedly started a counter by himself. But he only picked the wrong pass. He picked up Weghorst instead of the two players who were free on the left. If only he gets that decision-making right. That is something which he has to work on. I totally agree with that fact. But if at all he does get that decision-making right, coupled with the fact that Wan Bissaka can lock any player if he wants to. He can absolutely put the living clamps on any player. I say this with my chest out. He's done that to Neymar, he's done that to Mbappe, he's done that to Sterling, who at a point felt like he could do no wrong at that point. He's pocketed Sterling twice in that season, where it felt like whenever Sterling touched the ball, that was a goal, in the Premier League at least. And then you see him put on a masterclass against San Maximan. So I genuinely feel that if he adds a little bit, he is adding it, no doubt. You can see the improvement when he progresses the ball. You can see the improvement in his forward passing. But if he adds that final decision making, he's very very close to being a complete right back. Uh, very very close to being it.
And also he's so composed in the box, that he doesn't commit so early. He waits for the moment when to tackle and when to commit. He doesn't makes that early decisions that you see Shaw doing, sometimes Shaw is doing, or sometimes Martinez is going to just to wipe out that attack. But you look, when I think Saint Maximum was doing that some tricks there, but he was so calm and he was watching him when he will go on the left side, right side, he was doing. But the way he handled that attack, that shows that you have so many progressed in or improved in your defensive work. And that should be applauded for that. He has done some good work in his defensive work.
Yeah. Cut to this was all about the game. Cut to the time where there were, or just by cut to the time where where there were game celebrations. You could see that players were talking about it and players were, but then you see Wout Weghorst. You just looked at the body language of Wout Weghorst after the game, and it felt he was all of us. He was just, taking it in. It was his first ever age international major trophy at club level. You could see that Weghorst was just happy to be there. I mean, yes, he did not get the goal. He was very close to getting a goal as well, but he did everything correct. Like, just let's just appreciate the fact that Vegas just looks like someone who's in love with the place, who's in love with the club, and even though there could be a genuine chance that he could not be playing for us next season, he's already established himself as a fan favorite at this point in time. The sheer emotion that he showed. Even it was also said that he cried in his interview, was not able to give the interview, and just straight away went and hugged Ten Hag. He was just overwhelmed, and it just feels like he's one of us at this moment. Like how refreshing it is to finally have such players. You have Vegas, and then you had Varane and Casemiro, who basically completed European football and yet was celebrating like youngsters who actually ended up winning their first ever trophy. You could see the excitement. And then there was Martinez, who just recently went ahead and won the World Cup, but yet you could see the energy in their celebrations. How refreshing it is to finally have players who've made those close bonds with the fans. You can genuinely see that synergy between player and club. Finally, after years of toxicity where players were distancing themselves from fans, treating them as a social media experiment. Like, how refreshing it is to finally see players who are just invested in the badge, who are invested with the fans.
Yeah, I think very big credit goes to the manager also. He has created an environment, he has created personalities in the dressing room that you have to uh, just be together as a team. You play for the badge, you play for nothing else. Monetary component aside, the biggest objective of this club is to win trophies. The biggest objective of this club is to be on top of the world. And this is what Eric Ten Hag is planning. This is what Eric Ten Hag will be doing in the upcoming years. And for that, he needed the players with the right mentality, which he has got. And the players that were not having the right mentality, he has developed a strictness towards them. He has developed a scheduled, I should say, reprimand towards them, that if you cannot play for the badge, you are not playing at all in this club. And this has given players a fear that if uh, if we are somehow taken out from the equation, then there are not many places that we can go after performing so poor for last couple of seasons. When this sort of attitude gets changed, you see that every player is playing for every tackle that is being committed in the game. Every player is playing for the every goal that is scored in the game, and this togetherness somehow completes the performance, completes everything that what Manchester United is built upon. It is built upon a tradition that we win together, we win together big, and we will keep winning together big. And I think Vegas is a prime example that although I was not on the score sheet, although it was not one of my, I should say, a complete performance, but I won something here. I won something for Manchester United, playing for Manchester United, which itself is a big thing. And yes, you're right. I don't see him playing for us next season. Maybe another loan deal, but just I'm happy that Vegas is here. He's enjoying his game. He has won a trophy, and we just want him to be on score sheet regularly when he gets the opportunity.
So fun fact about Wout Weghorst, wow, and some other players also. Wout Weghorst, Diogo Dalot, Fred, Sancho, Anthony have won a trophy in England before Harry Kane. So, uh, and it's a very lovely stat, you know. So, I mean, it's fun. Like Weghorst has been here for what 2 months, and Kane has been here for what 8 or 9 years, and yet Weghorst has managed to win a trophy before Spurs and before Harry Kane.
Sabitzer
Sabitzer has won
had
it with,
only played only for five
but,
games and he won the
but
trophy.
yeah, but Sabitzer has won big trophies also. No, so we
No, no,
cannot
I'm
exactly. I'm talking of
compared to
Weghorst.
Harry Kane.
Weghorst. No, no. Compared to Hacken, sure. But then if you're comparing Weghorst, who's basically not won a trophy in his entire career, this is his
Yes,
first major trophy, and he's won that trophy within 2 months of being part
Yeah.
of this United
See,
side.
yes.
So
we are very surprising. I know it's not on the topic, but it's very surprising that one of the best strikers of this generation, and you don't have a trophy along your name, yeah, even being close to 30. I think a very
he
surprising
is
stat for
30.
me.
He is 30.
Yeah,
Kane is 30.
very surprising stat. Very surprising. I should say not pleasing. Not
It
I
just
don't.
goes to show how poor the team around him is constructed. I mean, it's not a team that is fully constructed to cater to
Uh,
Kane's abilities.
Tell me, brother, we have seen poor teams winning the trophy. We have seen poor teams
Yes,
winning the
but those
trophy.
poor teams have played like a team. No, the
Yes.
poor teams have they had their weaknesses, they had their flaws, but they always played to their strengths. You, no matter how elite of a team are you, or even though you are an elite team, you will always play to your strengths. Spurs' biggest strength is Harry Kane, and they've somehow not managed to play to his biggest strengths. Whenever Kane has fired on all cylinders, the rest of the team has gone on a very bad run. And like I spoke to one of my friends yesterday in the screening, and I said this at the start of the stream also. Whenever 11 out of 11 of your players put in a great game, 90 to 95% of the times you will end up winning those games, and that has not been the case whenever Harry Kane has been at a godly level in his career.
Yeah.
That is the simple reason, it's just
Yeah.
that the team has not been good.
Yeah, yeah, many reasons you're right, but still a very surprising start. A very
It
surprising
is
start.
absolutely no doubt. It is surprising, no doubt. But then it is what it is. It is a multitude of factors which play to the fact that Harry Kane hasn't won a trophy. One of them being signing that long-term extension. Also, I mean, what player at this day and age, apart from Chelsea, of course, who are handing prison sentences right now, but what player at his peak will sign a 7-year-old contract with a club that genuinely has no prospect of winning a trophy? I mean, you can think it that way as well. Uh, so let's talk about Eric Ten Hag, gentlemen. Obviously, by Eric Ten Hag, we at this point know everything that there is, but the fact that United have a grown up in the room, you know, who is having a firm authority on the club, who makes sure that things are run his way, you know, drop players if they are late. That is the standards that is held. If you're not performing well, you're out of the side. If you're performing well, you will win your place in the side. There is coaching, there is proper attention to detail, and then there is this no off days mentality where you celebrate what you have won, surely, but then it's back to work the next day. No off days, no satisfaction, keeping players on their toes. How important is this mentality shift?
uh, See, when you talk about managerial careers of all Manchester United career, when you saw Louis Van Gaal coming, we saw about the techniques, technicalities, but he just tried to implement, but there was players were not at that at the levels, or didn't get the players he wanted. But when we think about Jose Mourinho, we think about the success he got. He got some right players. He got the success despite all that bashing. Okay, we also got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He tried to replicate some like Sir Alex, but something was missing always when all the managers came to Manchester United. But when we rightly appointed Eric Ten Hag, we thought that yes, we were all talking about mentality. We all talked about passion. Connection to the fans, everything. uh, I remember when I think in August or July, people, bantering about him, that I think on Talk Sports, Graham Souness, they talking about something shit. Even Gabriel, Sky Sports said that Eric 10 days or Eric 10 hours. So so much criticism on that Eric 10 Hag. He what will he do when we lost to Brentford, you lost to Brighton. People were totally bantering, but he ran with the players. We talk about that incident. He took that responsibility and accountability, that yes, I am also responsible for this loss, and he took all the blames, everything. And you see that the transition, it took sometimes, he got the lessons, everything. Yesterday I was seeing that one, I think Melissa Reddy was reporting that he I think he explores the city, and he was saying that he wants to know the tradition of Manchester United. You know no one, I didn't see any manager so passionate about some club. This mentality, thing is that it changes the whole scenario of what you are doing. Look at the Newcastle. They were 20th last season till January. They were battling for, when Eddie Howe came, he and the new owners came, that mentality changed, and they look at they are in the Champions League spot, and last and yesterday they were battling for the trophy. So the mentality shift, is really important in a football, because it unites you together, and shows dedication to the sports. And you get the desired result, and desired result what you are expecting in a game. And Eric Ten Hag, really has totally changed the mentality of every player. We all were bantering for Fred, McTominay, Harry Maguire. We Now these players are heart of the game. They are, you look at the Fred, he performed against Barcelona. Look at McTominay, who was good in Liverpool and Arsenal game. So look at Van Bissaka. He delivered so much world class performance in this 1 or 2 months. You have more adjectives for him, but the way he has transitioned everything. We can't you have you should just start it. Even at the pre-conference, or after the match conference, he was he was it shows that mentality, that um, okay, this is a good success, everything okay, but now our focus is on the West Ham game. It shows the mentality that he has the hunger, he has the focus to at the next step. He's not getting carried away, we have won, the way some fans are carried out. But no, we should, the way he realized all the fans and all the Manchester United players, everything, that we are focusing the next game. We are okay, we have won that, we are, it shows that we are on affirmation, that we are on the right path. Okay, and we will not get carried away. This is just a stepping stone for us, and we will continue this way. And uh, this we don't expect this from any anything shit about anything, talking that yeah, he didn't anything he all he said that if we have opportunity, we have won it, and we just move on and focus on the next game.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what the mentality is, and that is what he's been preaching throughout his time here. And it is still funny that there is a certain section of fans who keep slating him even up until now, in spite of the fact that whatever decisions that he has taken, he's managed to get the best out of that club. And yet there are people who slating him, but then. he's those classic Dutch people that who do not care about the outside noise and is focused on doing whatever he feels is right for the club, even though if he manages to alienate a certain section of fans. And this is the mentality that is needed. We do not need yes men. You do not need a person or a manager who wants to appease the fans. This is a manager who wants to make sure that he does whatever is best in the interests of the club, whatever is best in the interests of the player, and that is exactly what is required at Man United. Sir Alex did not care about what the people said, what the press said, what the media said. He wanted to do what was correct for the club, and he did it. So that was a perfect ideology. He's going to do that. You will not see him, waver. You'll not see him do something which he'll believe is against his principles. No, this is a man who's in total control of the situation, who's in total control of the club. The players are beginning to buy in his philosophy, which is the biggest thing at this point. And overall, you will see something that the change in dynamic is more than important, and that is what is there here. So we spoke about professionalism when it came to Aaron Van Bissaka. Let's talk about the professionalism. Ojis bhai, welcome back once again. So we spoke about professionalism when it comes to Aaron Van Bissaka, that how he put his head down and managed to get it back. Let's speak about the professionalism of another player. This is a player who's polarized opinions ever since he set foot on the club. This is a player who's been constantly criticized day in and day out for some of the things that he hasn't even done. And we're talking about Harry Maguire. Uh, we've seen him, be murdered, slaughtered, massacred for every single thing that he's done. But yet, we've not seen him utter a wrong word against the club, a wrong word against the fans. He's taken it on the chin like a true sportsman, like a true professional. And how, and in spite of all that he's been through, he showed an air of dignity. He showed an air of respect towards the club. Anyone, even us in this panel, uh, even if we faced even a fraction of the abuse that he's faced over the past 12 to 15 months, we would have gone on a rampant offensive. We could have done some things that we would not be proud of, say, in a couple of years' time. But kudos to Harry Maguire. The things that he's managed to keep a level head, and he's done a job whenever he has been called upon. It was very very satisfying to see Harry Maguire lift that trophy. No matter what other fans, they will have an opinion of their own. They'll slate him for doing. They've already, I've seen people calling him the player who's got an A without doing nothing in the class project. I mean, there are a lot of comments that have been doing, but how nice a touch was it to get on Harry Maguire for the last 5 to 7 minutes or whatever that was left in the game, and then how nice was it to see Harry Maguire lift a trophy. I mean, it is vindication for the sheer abuse that he's been through, and the fact that he managed to ignore the Glazers on the way out. It's just the perfect way. Walking right past the Glazers like they did not exist. I mean, that is a sign of a United captain. No matter whatever is done on the pitch, for me, the fact that he ignored the Glazers is enough to get all his respect back.
I think that was a very comical moment for me. Like, how the hell did that happen? Oh, can we say that is lack of professionalism? Although we all hate Glazers, can we say that it is lack of professionalism?
उसके अंदर का यूनाइटेड फैन जाग गया होगा भाई, अब क्या ही बोल सकते हैं.
Also, I think Glazer was, Avram was, I think he was not ignoring. I think he was on that other side and he
No, but
passed on.
then
I would say,
no,
No, no,
but then
that
he
was a
walked past
blatant
by.
ignore.
That was an ignore. He walked past by.
That was an
Huh.
ignore. I'm used to it. I'm used to it. I know what is an ignore. So, see, see, I don't like Harry Maguire. That is my opinion. But I have never been in a position where I just put an abusive comments or words towards a person that can cause, a very bad, I should say, reaction or very bad influence on anyone around them or us. The criticism basically started with his price tag. And it's really sorry for Maguire. It's not something that he could have done. Leicester were very good at the negotiation, and we were also at the peak of our negotiating skills. It all started with the price tag, and then you expect him to make an 80 million performance day in day out. Truth be told, Harry Maguire isn't that player. You expect him to make performances that are decent enough for the team to go through. Harry Maguire, I should say, cannot perform the magic on his own. Yes, he can put brilliant performances on the nights that we require him to. Yes, he can do that. But surely not that you are expecting a top class performance here and there, that 80 million performance from a player who is not used to the level that it's. We bought him from Leicester, not from Chelsea, not from a team that were already on the stages of winning the championships. Or I should say the Champions League. Yes, it was a very good win by the Leicester team in winning the Premier League. But are we? Let's be honest about the team that it was. He didn't come from a team that were fancying for championships every season. So when you invest 80 million in a player, you are trying to fix something. That is the automatic scenario of that situation. When you buy a player of 100 million, Anthony, you're trying to fix a situation. You're not there to buy a top class, like you're saying that it will solve everything, that the problem that I have on the right side. You're buying to fix the situation that you have had for a couple of seasons. We were having a very big problem with the centre backs of Smalling, Jones. I think it was Rojo also back then. Now you buy a player, you're fixing something. You invest good amount in them, and now the criticisms start. And Delvin, you will know more about it. English media is best at criticizing their own players also. They are not at all lenient towards anyone or anything that play for the country or the or play in the English league. So being going through all this, going through all the ups and downs, I was really happy that Maguire, which is the right thing to do. The official club captain does lift the trophy, and he did in the Wembley. He did at the Wembley. He lifted the trophy along with Bruno, because he recognized that the Bruno also made the impact as a captain that he was expected to make. But seriously, we have to cut the slack that we have against Harry Maguire. Time has gone, money has gone. We cannot bring the 80 million back. We cannot bring the those years back. We have to just do what we can do right now. Support the players. The things are going well. Every player has a contribution this season. Every player is required this season. So just accept the fact that we are with the players. We are with the right players. We are with the right managers, and slowly and steadily, we will come back on the top again.
And also when he was going for going for medals, you see that Harry Maguire was pushing Bruno to go first, as he was the captain for the match. But Bruno insisted that you should go, and Harry Maguire was so humble. I know I have no words what to say that in that moment, but he was, I think he was humbled, and he took that, and he was so I think he was so emotional, I would say. But when he was lifting the trophy, he was emotionless, और मतलब चेहरे पे क्या उसके मतलब भावना थे क्या, we couldn't understand it. He was happy, but was he at happy at the highest level, or was it lowest level, or what was going through his mind? We didn't see that. Even he didn't give post match interview, if I'm not wrong. Did he?
No, I don't think Maguire did. No, no, I don't think so.
Yes, that's what display.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a great journey. It has been a great journey from Wembley. The trip to the return trip to Wembley has been a happy one. But like Ten Hag said, not the time to rest on our laurels. It is time to get our focus for the next game. And we have a couple of key games that are coming our way: West Ham and the FA Cup, and that big Liverpool game at Anfield on Sunday. I guess I'm not sure when it is. 5th March is a Sunday, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, 5th
It's
March
on
is a
Sunday.
Sunday. So,
It's on Sunday.
yeah. So we have a key game against Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. So we cannot let our guard down. We are doing great, but we have to continue this run. With Ten Hag at the helm, I will see that standards will definitely be high. With that being said, thank you so much to all for being part of the stream. Thank you so much for joining us. Ojas bhai, Abhijit bhai, thank you so much for joining in our celebrations and making this an even more memorable stream that it was. Just a reminder, guys, we are very, very close to 1600 subscribers now, and we've grown drastically over the past few weeks and months, and we would like to grow. Our next aim is reaching 2000 subscribers by the end of March. So do join us in our journey. Do smash that like button, do click that subscribe button, and make sure that you share our streams to as many United fans as possible on YouTube, so that YouTube Baba can recognize our effort, and show us and get us much more mainstream than it is currently. Thank you to each and everyone for joining us on our streams regularly, and we would love to have you on our streams. We would love to have you as part of our streams as well, so that we can understand what is your thought process and what are your opinions about that as well. With that, we have a late entrant, I guess, in the stream. I guess Paritosh bhai, are you there, or what? Paritosh bhai?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
I'm here.
here
I'm
he
here. I'm
is.
here.
Here he is. Here he is. A little late to the
Hello,
party,
guys.
Paritosh bhai, but yeah, we surely have room for more. I was so Paritosh bhai, 6 years, 6 years, and finally here we are on a stream
Yeah.
celebrating a trophy. Paritosh bhai, you look good enough. You can show your face. Yeah.
No, no, I was turning the camera.
Yeah. So Paritosh bhai, when I've asked these questions to the rest of the guys who were on the panel, I'll ask you the same question. When the final whistle was sounded, what were the gamut of emotions that you were going through? Not only just looking at the game, but when the game started, when the game was going on, when we scored the first goal, when we scored the second goal, throughout the course of 90 minutes, was it a roller coaster of emotions that you were going through, or was it like, were you confident enough of the fact that entering in this game, that we would end up winning the cup, and we would end up what was going through your mind?
I think as soon as Casemiro headed in the first goal, I think that's when I knew that this is our game. After scoring a goal, I was never in doubt that United would concede two and lose the game. Obviously, there are nerves, there are jitters. Uh, even when we were 2-0 up, when we were pressed in the final few minutes, it was like, will there be something for them? Will they score one and then come back for another? Will they? But in the back of my mind, as soon as we scored the first goal, I kind of knew that, okay, this is ours. We had that kind of confidence, and this is the kind of team that we are right now. That if we get hold of a game, there is hardly a time that we look like we're going to lose it. So that's that, and long time coming about the trophy. Long time coming. Too many semifinals, too many finals. Hopefully, many more to go. And sadly, for some manager of the past, it wasn't to be. This looks like starting off something different. There are fan edits on all over the internet. Manchester United has taken over the world of sports, and everywhere it's trending. So that
In
shows
other
you the
words,
power.
grass is green.
The
In
grass
other
is
words,
green.
grass is
Yes,
green. Yes.
the grass is always green on the other side, though.
But this
So
time on our
if
side as
the
well. This time on our side as
yeah,
well.
it's green, but I think, but when even when we lifted the trophy, I was watching the whole ceremony. I watched everything because I had to buy the 25 rupee stream from fan code. So I was watching till the last point, even when the players were taking pictures with the trophy. I think after like 45 minutes, after the trophy was lifted, and one thing is certain that this didn't look like the highest point of this team. Even when they were lifting the trophy, it was looking like, okay, one down, more to go. This is just the start. This is not something that we are gonna rest our laurels on. And that was the kind of vibe that I was getting from the team, even when they were lifting the trophy, even when they were
Totally.
celebrating. So it was not like, okay, we have finally won a trophy. Yes, we can like go home and rest. That was not the vibe I was getting. I was getting the vibe that yes, we can celebrate, but there's work to do, and there'll be work. There'll be work. I think they'll get a day off or two, and then they'll be back in training. So I
Not
hope that we get
we
more.
we cannot have days off, Paritosh bhai, because we play West Ham on
Uh,
Wednesday, so no days
yeah.
off.
So no days off. No,
Yeah.
I thought that maybe one day they'll get, but because there's the West Ham game. Uh, Ideally, in any other scenario, they would have gotten, but because this is Ten Hag and because they are gunning for more trophies, because they are ambitious right now, they are in a hot spot. So United would be going for more. Hopefully, Rashford is fit because he was a doubt for this game, and then
I wouldn't
after
mind
the
if he
game
was
as well.
rested. I wouldn't mind if he was
Yeah,
arrested for the
I
West Ham
wouldn't
game. Yeah.
mind. I would mind if he didn't play any part because I think we require him on the bench, even if he's not started. I think his presence is required. So if we need him, he can be there. I don't want him to be completely out. Yes, people will say that at least give him some kind of rest, let him stay back. But you cannot just go in every match, in any match right now without Marcus Rashford. So that is what I'm thinking.
Did
And this is the
gentlemen,
kind of see,
gentlemen, just one question.
just
Sorry to
l-
interrupt.
l- yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, did sorry, yaar, sorry, Dylan bhai, but did
No, no,
you
I was
find
not.
that
I was addressing something else. Don't worry about it.
did you find that Rashford was little exaggerated or tired yesterday on starting from the
He
first half?
looked unfit. He looked unfit. He looked like he
I
wasn't
think
100%. He was just
I
trying to
think he
preserve
was on
himself.
painkillers. I
Yes,
think
he
he was
was.
on painkillers.
He was. He
I
was.
think he was on
It,
painkillers.
he wasn't very
And
comfortable
it is
running.
not because I know because if he was severely injured, he wouldn't have played. This must be the kind of knock that he is used to play with because he played uh, with a lot of injuries, especially under Ole. So for one game, he can do this, but I don't think that's sustainable that he has a knock and he's playing games after games. So I want him on the bench. If not needed, let him not play any part on the game, but let him be there just for the sake of it because we might need him if we are not able to score. But I have faith in Sancho and Ganacho. So that's
Yeah.
that. And I was saying that this is the kind of talk we're having. This is the kind of team that United are right now. That even when they have won a trophy, the talk is like of the future of what are they going to do in the next game or what should be the planning. And that is what I'm excited about. I'm quite elated. And there was a relief, there was a sense of relief. I'm not going to lie. There was like, oh, finally, our trophy is coming to Old Trafford after 6 long years. So that was that. And although we used to count out the Carabao Cup, the EFL Cup, but right now this is the trophy that we won, and we are quite excited about it. We'll paste it all over everybody's timeline, and yeah, because we
It
are
is what it
still in the
is.
FA Cup.
It is what it is. Yeah,
It is what
exactly.
it is. If you win it, we don't care. If we win it, it's everything in the world. So
Yeah, precisely.
that is that is the vibe we're going for. I am hoping that we because in cup games we have a fair chance. I
I
think
have a
league
question,
is still a
Paritosh
dream.
bhai. I
Yeah,
do have a question for
I
you.
want the FA Cup.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I do have a question for you. So in one of our previous streams,
yeah.
you posed us this very same question. This was
Mm.
before we playing the second leg of the semi final
Yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
Carabao. You did post us a question saying that realistically, how many trophies do you see
How
us
many
competing
trophies?
for?
Yeah,
We have one in the bag now. We do have a
yeah,
realistic chance of going all the way to the FA Cup, and we also have a
yeah,
very good chance. We are counted as of now as one of the favorites to go all the way in the Europa League as well. Now the
yeah,
Premier League is a pipe dream, yes, but
yeah,
it's still it's still only 7 points away from the top with just one game extra, or we only have one game over Arsenal.
yeah.
So, so for all intents and purposes, you do think that we have a minor shout in the title race as well. So, from the prospective three trophies that are there to play for, how many do
Yeah.
you see us winning?
Uh, See, if we're being realistic, there are chances that we get away with only one, the AFL Cup by the end of the season. There are huge chances because of the kind of games that are gonna come thick and fast. There are games in the Premier League. There'll be games in the FA Cup. There'll be games in the Europa League. And when everything takes a toll, and if we are not able to manage our fixtures,
All right, so Paritosh Bhai is stuck for some reason. Abhijit Bhai, I'll ask you the same question, and then we'll get Paritosh Bhai's response, and then we'll wrap up the stream. Abhijit Bhai, realistically, how many trophies do you see us winning out of the three? You're on mute, Abhijit bhai. You're on mute.
Sorry.
Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes.
Paritosh bhai, we'll get to your response later. But currently,
Yeah,
since
yeah,
Abhijit bhai is speaking, I'll just get Abhijit bhai's response. So yeah, Abhijit
yeah,
bhai,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can go
No
ahead.
problem.
If you think realistically, I would say only, I think one trophy. I would say either it would be Europa League, because I will not count FA Cup, because FA Cup, I think cities are there, but we can humble them. But why I'm saying that Europa League, because we don't know the race for top four. We know that we are not, we have an outside chance for the title race. We are not considering, but looking at the top four race, we have still so many contenders. Tottenham, coming in. You see, I see Liverpool, coming into the into that top four race. Newcastle are there. So prioritizing Europa League would be a good factor. Okay, it's on Thursday. We see play two games on a day, but in a week. But we who are the opponents for us in a Europa League? We see Real Betis. If we can face Sevilla, or we can see Real Sociedad. So Eric Ten Hag knows to tackle some teams, and he has that. But looking at the Premier League, they're very, as you say, that we come in a thick and fast fixtures. But Europa League, we can win it. FA Cup, I would say we can go up to semi-finals. If we humble it, who knows, we can win it. But I don't see Europa see another one, two or three trophies. I would say Europa League only.
Yeah, very well said. Abhijit bhai, very, very well said. And yeah, Paritosh bhai, let's get your response on the trophies. How you said that you could see us winning one trophy out of the three. Your reasoning for that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be as real as possible, because if we win like two more, it will be a dream season for Eric Ten Hag and Manchester United. A new manager coming in, losing the first two games, a 4-0 to Brentford in the first two, and then winning the AFL Cup, winning FA Cup, and winning Europa League. That is unheard of, especially for a club like Manchester United, especially the position that we were in, coming in the back of the last season. So yeah, if I'm being realistic, I think this could be the only trophy that we win. There are chances of one more, and I hope it is FA Cup. I hope it is Europa League, because if we win the Europa League, even if we slip in the Premier League in the last few games, because the other teams will also push, we have a sure shot at the Champions League. Although I think right now we are like almost confirmed that we are going to finish in the top four. That shouldn't be a doubt at this point. But because it's Manchester United, and because you never know with us, I am just being skeptic, and I wish it is the Europa League rather than the FA Cup, because we have already done one domestic.
Yeah, absolutely. So Abhijit bhai, Paritosh bhai, thank you so much for being part of the stream. Thank you to all of
Sorry
them
for
who were
being
in.
late.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine. That's
I'll
fine.
be on time for the
Yeah.
next one,
Yeah,
hopefully.
sure, no problem. Thank you to all once again for being part of the stream. I'll once again say this, that we are very, very close to touching 1,600 subscribers on YouTube, and our next aim is to reach 2,000 subscribers by the end of March. So do help us in our adventure. Do be a part of this adventure as well. We'd love to have you on board. Do smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, share this video to as many United fans as possible, so that YouTube Baba notices us and appreciates our effort, and make sure that this video is spread across to as many United fans as possible. So do be a part of our journey. Do follow us on Facebook. Do follow us on Instagram as well. Sorry, not Facebook. Do follow us on Instagram, and do follow us on Twitter. We're pretty active there, and we'd love to have you on board as well. I say this in every stream. Today is no different. Every day is match day on our WhatsApp group, and especially yesterday, it was an absolute festival. It was a carnival of emotions. It was a carnival of happiness, joy, and elation, as well as relief. Like Paritosh Bhai said, that the fact that we finally won a trophy, and we are an ever-growing family, and we always have room for more. So do join us on our WhatsApp group as well. With that being said, this is Delvin along with Abhijit Bhai, Paritosh Bhai, Ojis Bhai, Mojo Sir also in the past. Wishing all of you good night. Do take care of yourselves. Stay healthy, stay safe, and up until next time, this is goodbye, and we'll see you soon with another episode. Till then, take care and GG on you guys.
GGM.